Good afternoon. So I'm coming to you today from a slightly different location. We are in actually my office. So because it's a bit more interactive today, I'm actually the one person controlling it all. So bear with me as I share screen and jump between a few different slides. But yeah, our plan today is to actually take you through how we're using Loom as a company and how I suppose it's made a massive difference to us in just, I suppose, as we've said, what this one's called is how you clone yourself. So I'll give people just a couple more minutes just to join. And I'll get some share screen set up here as well so you can see me and my slides because it is going to be a bit interactive. So I will be sharing a few different slides. I'll be sharing exactly how I kind of set up Loom with a few different hacks and tips as well to get you all moving quickly. So let me just share here. So, because what I want to be able to do is you would actually be able to see my face here and the slides as well. There we go. Look at that. We've got me and slides together. So what we're talking about today is, as I said, how to clone yourself using Zoom. So yes, I am John Mayer, CEO of Empire One. If I've not met you, at the privilege of talking to you, I've actually been speaking to quite a lot of business owners and our members this past week, just finding out pain points and things that they've been dealing with, which has been amazing. But if I've not spoke to you yet, reach out to me. I'm always happy to have a conversation about anything to do with your business and anything I can do to help. So today we're talking about how you can clone yourself using Loom. We sort of started using Loom as a business a little while ago, but there's been a huge sort of increase in all of the things that they're able to do now with AI, which I'm going to talk you through today. Some of them are honestly just incredible. So first up, what I thought we'd just go through is what am I going to talk about today? So we're going to talk about you as a business owner being the bottleneck. I know a lot of you saying you're not, you probably are. We're going to talk about the real cost of not having any SOPs. So SOPs, what I'm referring to is your standing operating procedures in your business. Then the clone method. So what is the clone method? So then I want to talk about Loom and ChatGPT together because the two of these, and you don't need to use ChatGPT, Claude, whatever LLM you choose to use, you can use that. But working with two of these things together, how does that help build you an incredible instant SOP? And then I've got some examples for you how you can use it. I've got an action plan, which I'd love you to do today. And I've got a special free download that you can all get today as well. And we're at the end. So let's kind of just kick off into it. So before we kind of started, what I kind of wanted to say was, how many of you have had this week? How many times have you been asked the exact same question over and over and over again? Yeah, I'm sure that is lots of you. Yeah, you've been asked the same question in work, and then you've told it in a few different ways, a few different answers. And I think the problem is that most businesses don't realize that they're actually the biggest bottleneck. And it's not always just the owner, it could be a manager in your business, but they've got all the knowledge in their head. So how do they get that knowledge out so they're not answering the same questions over and over and over again? And I suppose, what if you could just explain something once, right? What would you save as a business owner, as a manager in time? What about if you could just say that one thing once? That's what we're going to achieve today, right? So the real cost of no SOPs, and I've put it down to the 4 points here, is point number one is you become the bottleneck. So every question in your whole business comes back to you, right? And you don't want to be that. I personally have been there. I don't know if a lot of you know, I used to be the CEO for Anderson Group International, one of Aaron's other companies, as events education business. And in that, yes, I was probably the bottleneck in there a lot. And moving across to one of his other companies now for 9 months, believe it or not, there's still things that I'm trying to get rid of and pass across. And I think the thing is, with what I'm going to explain and show you today, is that how do you stop yourself being the bottleneck? So that if someone wants some information, if somebody needs to do something, how do you stop getting people coming to you and getting out of your own head? And point number two is delegation feels risky. Now, delegation should not feel risky as a business owner. It's the only way you're going to actually grow your business. So it feels risky because there isn't a process. So delegation essentially feels like you're guessing, right? Point number three is mistakes get repeated. So because there is no process, it's not that people don't care, but because the process isn't clear. So they're following a process that necessarily isn't always the same process. And sales is a prime example of that. What is the sales process that someone is following? Is every single person in your sales department, your customer service department, or your HR team, are they all onboarding people the same? Are they doing their close calls the same? Are they, and dealing with the complaint exactly the same? That process stops mistakes. And then point number four here, which we're going to talk about, is growth actually creates chaos. So I think when lots of business owners talk, they say, I want lots of new clients, I want lots of growth, I want all these things happening. But what actually happens is that it actually creates more chaos, because more clients doesn't always mean freedom, more money. It actually can equal more stress if there isn't a process done correctly. So does anybody like some maths? I've done a little quick equation. Anybody like maths here today? So every week, imagine 1 hour a day, you repeat yourself. Someone asks you a question, you repeat it because you don't have a process for it. So you get asked every day 1 hour worth of questions from your team, from your staff, from your business, 5 days a week, 48 hours in a week's in a working year. So that's 240 hours, right? Now, convert that 240 hours. That's, say you're earning about 150 an hour. That's $36,000 a year that you could just be wasting, right? And time is actually probably more valuable than the actual cost itself. So imagine the amount of time you could be saving by just having a better process, and somewhere saved, somebody can go to, watch a video, and you don't need to explain it. That is where the real time saving is. So, and these numbers, again, I've put on here, that's being conservative, 100% that's being conservative. I mean, there could be, 2, 3, 4 hours a day of you answering questions and sorting things out, telling people how to do stuff that you just keep on repeating over and over and over again. So what is the solution? A lot of people's immediate solution is, let's just hire more people. Well, things aren't working, people are too busy, answering too many questions, let's just hire more people. That is 100% not the solution. Solution to this, and the fastest way that I've found, is how do you clone yourself? And how do you clone yourself? Loom. It is honestly the fastest way that I've found to be able to actually clone yourself and enable people to quickly watch something, refer to something to get the information they need. So what I want to go through today, that was just my sort of preset as to why Loom is so important and why SOPs and systems in your business are so important. So what I want to kind of go through today is the clone method and our core framework. It's super boring. It's super simple. Honestly, it's incredibly powerful. And it's literally these 3 simple steps, right, that everybody can follow. You record the task once in Loom. You let Loom turn it into an SOP, and you store it so your team can follow it. That is it. It's not rocket science to creating a whole bunch of SOPs. The hardest part, I think, is actually getting that script. So it's the hardest part, I think, for everybody is, what am I going to record? What am I going to talk about? What's the structure I should put it in? What do I do? Okay, I know the process, but what do I actually do now? So Loom, I think, has kind of recently changed the game with some of the AI components it's built inside, which I'm going to show you the whole platform in a minute and show you I've kind of done this is what I've done before. So what it needs to be, and what Loom is enabling, is you to be able to record a video and then create an SOP from that. And that's what I'm going to teach you today. But it kind of starts with, and I put on here, Loom plus ChatGPT equals the instant SOP. And that's because where it really starts is getting that initial script. So what I've actually created for you, and I'll give you a free download of it later, is I've created a master prompt for you to just insert, and I'll talk you through it in a minute, just insert some information, and then it will give you a script to talk through. Because what ends up happening is you want to record a Loom video about anything in your business, say even onboarding, right? What happens is people start recording it and they start rambling. Oh, but then you do this, and then you click on here, and then you need to go to this part, and then they miss steps, and they're like, oh, but before you do this, you actually need to do that. And then they even actually sometimes assume people have got some knowledge on some of it. So the actual step-by-step guide has to be very thorough, because the reality is that, yes, you can record lots of different videos for SOPs. People don't understand them. They're not in a structured way of step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. People are not going to get any value, and they're still, like I said right at the start, they're still going to make mistakes because you've not structured in a correct way. So this is where I think the two kind of come in hand now. And what I'm saying is that you're not getting ChatGPT or your LLM to actually write the SOP for you. That is not what I want you to do with it. ChatGPT is there to build you the actual script you're going to use inside Loom. All right, I hope that makes sense. So ChatGPT, I've got a very great prompt, which I said you can get free access to later. I'll put a QR code up here in a few minutes. You can click on that. I've got a Word document, and you can literally just download that document and use it. So let's kind of get into this and what exactly Loom is. So I've got here, and I'll share it with you here. I'm just going to stop sharing the screen. Share that screen here. All right, here we go. We got it. So this is what the master prompt looks like. And this is essentially telling ChatGPT, and you just need to fill in all these different process parts. Hope you can all see that. So there's different parts that you fill in, and then you copy and paste this prompt into ChatGPT. And what it's going to give you, I've kind of filled one out here already. What it's going to give you is, these are the parts that I've filled out here. And then what it's going to give you is actually a full script that you can work through. Now, what I chose to do here, this was just a very easy one for running email campaign through HubSpot. We use HubSpot as a business, so I thought this would be kind of a key one, which I'm sure a lot of business owners use. How do you do a simple workflow inside HubSpot to be able to give you an automated workflow and an email at the back end? So I did a Loom video earlier today, based it on all these different sections. And what I did was created a Loom video, went inside HubSpot, and then filmed myself inside Loom doing all these different points using this script. So the script's obviously key because, as I said, you need an opening, you need what the first outcome is, you need step-by-step walkthrough so that it's got all your different points. Just a really easy way to talk through so that Loom records it all correctly. So let's go on to sort of Loom and what it can do. So once I've got a little stop sharing here so I can share the full screen with you so you can see Loom has got an amazing desktop app, which is really good. Just gonna share here. All on my desktop. There we go. So Loom has got this amazing desktop app, which appears up here. And I'm just going to talk you through sort of all the different parts to what you can do. All right. So yes, let's start in the very bottom corner here. You can see a picture of me. You can turn this on and off, which is pretty cool. And you can also, in this circular sort of video, you can actually make your picture a lot bigger as well. So that's kind of the first one. But two, you've got a couple of things in the sidebar here, which you'll see your mouse scroll around. One, you can draw, so you can actually start to circle things as you're talking. As you come out of it, it disappears, which is again very handy if you're wanting to emphasize certain things on a screen. If you're wanting to emphasize certain words, you can actually draw under it as you're talking, which is very useful. You can also do some cool effects. So they all relate down to the circular video down here. So you can put some blue in the background and different sort of frames you can put on as well, which is quite a cool thing just to stand out. And I like what I really like about Loom, sorry, is that you do have your video picture in the bottom left-hand corner. So it's not just a screen recording, and you can choose to turn that off if you want, but you do have your little video in the corner, which I just feel makes it a little bit more personal. I like to use hand gestures a lot as well, so it helps with that. And then the other thing you can do here is you can add some notes. So if you want speaker notes that do not appear in the video, you can add all of your notes in here so that you can just kind of go through those notes too. Now, the other thing which is critically important, we've created a script here, right? So really, I want to stick to all those points without having to try to memorize it. How do you do that? Now, the cool thing is that we've got a specific window which you can record from. And what you can do, if you select the screen, so I've got a couple of different screens here, but if I click on this, you can select just the one that you're looking at. So what you could do is you could actually have two different browser panels open. You could have your Word document with your script, plus say your browser or whatever you're wanting to do, and you can just record that one so that you can literally read from your script so that you don't miss any points. So it's a super easy way to read from your script. This is just a very quick hack. You can select the window. Other thing you can do inside here as well, there's got quite a few settings. So if you go into the settings, what you can do is there is a video and audio. So there's this cool bit here, which is highlight mouse clicks, which means as you click on things, it will actually come up with a big yellow circle. So if you're doing a lot of things that say you are going around the CRM, for instance, you're showing someone how to set up a new contact, or like I was doing, you're showing someone how to create an email workflow and create the email. You can tick that on so that every time you click, it comes up with a little yellow circle, which is very clever. And again, just makes it easier for the user when they're using it to understand, oh, I can see they've clicked there. Also, you can choose your video quality, and you can change the location of your camera bubble. There's a couple touch-up appearances as well. So if you forgot to put your makeup on that morning, you can actually touch up your face in the camera here, which is very handy. And you can do some auto lighting, all these kind of things. You probably noticed that even in the little bubble, if you can see it clear enough, my face actually looks a lot brighter, a lot cleaner than it does in the main camera over here. So there's some very cool things you can do in that. So then all you do is you can literally hit start recording. It'll ask you what screen you want to start recording. So I'm just going to start recording here. I'm going to start recording this one where they've got up here, and there'll be a countdown timer. And starting, here we go. Countdown timer. And just like that, we're now recording for Loom. So as you can see now, when I click, there's a nice little yellow button there. And every time I click, just to give the user the information that now I'm clicking. So it's that simple to start recording a video. So again, if you wanted to draw something, I can put a drawing. We're talking all about the Loom demo here today. It's that simple. So I'm going to close it here. So once you've recorded a video, so this is one I did earlier today. So this was creating and attaching marketing emails. It automatically fills this top bit in. So it automatically has named it for me all by itself. I've not even had to put a name in there, which is amazing. And then it creates you a little video here. So there's a little playback. And this is where it gets really exciting. I like tech, so I get a bit geeky about these things here. So on the right-hand panel here, what you can do is you can actually remove silences. That's number one. So if there's a pause between some of your words, and this is really to sort of speed it up, right? When you're doing a recording, when you're following a script, ideally you want to get the information to someone as quickly as possible. So if there is lots of pausing between your words, this will actually automatically tidy it up, which is very cool. Filler words. Everybody uses filler words. Ahs. It will automatically remove all those for you. Incredible bit of kit. And then you can also add captions too. So if people, you've got an open plan office, or, people aren't using headphones all the time, you can add closed captions at the bottom there. So they do have subtitles, so they can actually still watch your videos and get all the subtitles. So that's a couple cool new AI features they've done. Now, this is where it gets really cool. And this is where essentially now Loom has done it all for you. So right in Generate from the top here, you can actually do SOPs. So it's so simple. What I might do is I might actually share this full screen so you can see this a little better here as well. So here we go. So in Generate here at the top, you've got this one called SOPs. It will generate you the entire SOP. You don't have to do anything. It literally on the right hand side here will generate you every single step. And this is why I said it was so critical in when you are building that script in ChatGPT. It's so critical that you follow that step, because what happens is that the AI in Loom listens to what you're saying. And if you've got, okay, I'm going to talk through step 1. Now I'm going on to step 2. It will take that content and actually use it very usefully in its generative SOP part. And that's why it's such a critical part, because if you just go on there and start being like, oh, okay, so this is what I'm going to show you. Oh, actually, I've missed a part here. We're going to go back to this bit. As soon as you start doing that, the AIs can get very confused and will actually start to produce some of the wrong information. Whereas if you follow that script to a T, it's going to create you an incredible SOP that's done for you. So that is how easy it is to actually create the SOP. Now, the other thing which you can do, you can actually just do a how-to guide as well. So it gives you step-by-step all the way through on the how-to guide and what you need to do. And one of my very favorite things is, now it does have some Q&A steps, it's got some other stuff, is this one that's got email. So you do a quick Loom video for a colleague, for even an external provider, even a client, or you do a Loom video for a client, you can actually hit email and it will automatically create you a subject line, the email copy, plus a link to the Loom, without you having to do anything. So just think of the time saving. You don't even have to, if you're wanting to share that, say you do a quick, I do quick Loom videos all the time, just because it's actually easy than me emailing somebody. So be like, someone's asked me a question about something, and be like, okay, here's how you can do it. Here's a little quick hack I've done. Quick Loom video. It actually creates the email for me as well, which is just a massive time saver. And then you can click this share link at the top, right? So you can, that link at the top will copy it. You can copy and paste that link into anything, and it's actually open to anybody. So if you share that link with somebody, and they can jump on, watch your Loom video. It does have very good data protection, Loom, as well. So you can make it non-shareable, shareable only with your team. There's a whole bunch of different settings you can go into to change those things. But this, I feel, is just an incredible tool. So again, inside Loom itself, you can create a library. So say you've got lots of different departments. You can have a different library for each department, and then you can put all the videos that correspond to that department inside that library, just to make it super easy. But yes, the most incredible tool inside here is definitely the SOP builder. So build that SOP. Before, you would have to do a video, open up Word, do some screenshots, type up all the copy, make sure that it all makes sense. That is now limited, totally limited in this day and age. You can do a very quick script with my ChatGPT prompt. You follow that, open up Loom, do your, I would try and keep them under 5 minutes as well, just as a tip. Do your 5-minute video inside Loom, automatically creates you the SOP. So it's a humongous time saver in your day-to-day. And especially, as I said, sort of right at the start, it's not just about time saving, it's actually making sure that your team are all following the same process as well. So that is how simple it is to create a Loom. That simple. I hope you've all got some valuable information about what you can do with that. You can, again, inside here with your team, they can comment on it. They can give you a little high five and a fire, and they will actually tell you when they've given you a little high five or a comment on there as well in the timeline. And they keep on doing more and more things inside Loom. So every time I come into it in the last sort of 6 months, there's actually been an added feature and something more they're doing it. They didn't used to have that little slider to make you look a little bit more beautiful. That's been added recently. So there's lots of things that are adding to it all the time. So the more and more you're in here, the more and more things they're adding. And as I said, to create an SOP in literally 5 minutes is kind of next level, I think. It just shows you what's happening in the world of AI. Let me bring up my slides back up here. So I'm doing this over myself, and I always get a little bit confused with Zoom and what buttons to click where. There we go. Unfortunately, this is where someone needs to build a hack. Unfortunately, don't have a automatic save preference of me in this side, me in this side. So Loom. So there's a couple other things you can do with Loom as well, right? So I just thought I'd give a very quick example here. I like to use a bit of video in some of my slides sometimes. So you can download any of your Looms as an MP4 as well. So this is the prompt I created. I just downloaded it as an MP4 and threw it into my slides here. Anything that's moving, you're doing a presentation to your board, you're doing a presentation to your team, any bit of movement, video, people I think are so used to now scrolling through TikTok and Instagram and seeing immediate gratification with thousands of images and video. I've started to add some of them into my slide presentations as well. So again, very simple to do this, but another quick hack that you can use for Loom is you can actually, the video is downloadable. So you don't have to use it just in Loom or just have it there. You can actually download the video, and then you can even put it on YouTube or things like that if you want to, or internally, if you've got your own internal place where you store all of your videos, you use SharePoint or Google Drive, and you want to share things, you can certainly do that. My preference, and I suppose my recommendation to people would be use Loom and get all your team invited instead, because they do have nice little recordings. They do have amazing little workflows where you see them all in a nice sort of layout. People are more likely to click on them rather than opening up a SharePoint. There's just a whole list of videos. People don't know where to start. They don't know what to look at. So that would be my advice. So here's what I've done before. So that's what I've done. So again, the script that I've put together in the ChatGPT prompt right at the start, I just wanted, I suppose, to share very briefly what you should be starting with. So you should be starting with sort of, hey team, this is a video that I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do task X. I'm recording this so the process is clear, consistent, all those types of things. And then I would always close off with something like, once these steps are complete, the task is done, please rewatch this video before asking any questions, because you're just emphasizing the fact that you don't want them to come to you. You're emphasizing the fact that they need to actually go and watch the video you've just spent time creating and not come to you with questions. And I think people need to get in a habit, and I've started to do this way more often. Oh, can you quickly help me with this one thing? I'd be like, did you watch the video for it? Oh, no, I've not. Okay, go away and do that. If you've still got a question, come back to me. All right? That it's going to take time, but as you record them all, people are not immediately going to go to your SOPs. They're just not. They're going to be like, what's the fastest way to get my question answered? Fastest way is go and talk to John. There was a joke in here before, a couple months ago. If you've got a question, ask John. And I hated it because I did have most of the answers, but the problem would be that then everybody would come to me. So how do you remove yourself from that happening? Loom. Go and watch the video I've created on this subject, on this thing you're inquiring about. If you've got any questions, then come and see me. So it should remove a lot of that bottleneck from you. So let's make this practical. So action plan. So if you were going to record 5 different SOPs, what's the ones you would start with? These are the ones I would start with. So your daily admin tasks, Your sales follow-up. What is your sales follow-up? What's the exact process you use? Client onboarding. Make sure that all your client onboarding, no matter who somebody speaks to, they get the same experience, right? You want them all to be doing the exact same thing. Or do you have one standout person? This one kind of, when I was writing it the other day, this one stood out to me, right? Do you have one person in your business that does the most unbelievable onboarding? What's that person's process? If you don't have a process already, what's that person's process? And copy what they're doing. If you get, all your clients raving about this one person, oh my goodness, they are so helpful. What an amazing experience I had with this person. They're amazing. What do they do? Whatever they're doing, make that into a Loom. That's what you want to focus on, right? One marketing tasks. So what one marketing task could you do? Is it how you post on social media? Is it I use this one chat in ChatGTP that I do all the copy for the blogs we're doing or all the copy for the social media posts we're doing? And this is probably the biggest one, weekly reporting. Do you have more than one person that knows actually how to do the weekly reporting in the way that you like it, in the Excel that you use, whatever, however you export it from, Excel into something visual? Does more than one person know how to do it? So if that one person's off on holiday or on annual leave or sick, or is there anybody else that can actually do that reporting? Or if you're sick and you need somebody, your team members to do some sort of reporting, do you have a Loom video? You will now. You have a Loom video that you could basically say, oh, I need you to do this reporting. Here's the video to watch and how to do it. Save you a lot of time. So I do have a challenge for you. Challenge for you is you've now watched this. Use the ChatGPT prompt, which I'll give you in a second. You can scan, record one Loom video today, and create their SOP. So that's the challenge for you today. There's obviously I've put that previous sheet. There's 5 different ones that I would focus on, just to get those SOPs done and out of the way. But challenge today is, can you do one today? Download Loom, record it, and then set up the SOP and actually send it out to your team. It's so easy now. What's stopping you doing it? Especially the fact that it will even write the email for you at the end. You don't even have to write the email anymore. It will write the email for you at the end. So a couple of ways that we can help. So as a Empire One Premium member, we do have Empire One deals. So there is a Loom promo inside there, which can save you up to $750. It's free forever for 10 users. Super easy to get on there. And we've got Premium, which is $198 to sign up to Premium, which gives you access to deals, Resource Hub Plus, and some extra resource in there. You just hit upgrade at the top of your account when you log in. So super, super, super easy to upgrade. We do have as well, and I thought I'd put this in, we've got a couple of members recently that have actually used VAs to set up. They're like, I do not have time to do all the SOPs on this. I've got hundreds of SOPs, and I don't have time to actually set all this up. What can we do? So we've got a couple of businesses now that have actually employed a VA full time, and they're going through and actually setting up all of the SOPs for the business. So all the way from creating scripts, interviewing team members as to what exactly their whole job role is, and then making Loom videos and scripts all around every single person's task role. So that is an option as well. So if you do want to speak to somebody about possibly getting a VA and outsourcing some of this stuff, again, VAs can do. There's a whole bunch of stuff that they can do. Anything that's essentially behind a computer, they can now take that task away. And again, it's an incredible asset to be able to have somebody be able to do that for you. Again, only way you can really grow your business is to get help. And then here, if you want to scan this is basically the free Loom prompt. So it's just the one that I've created. You just fill in some of these tasks here. You scan this, super easy to get the free Loom prompt that I've created. Or it's a Word document, so you just scan that, and you can download that immediately. So it's super, super easy. Sorry, I know you've probably got a lot of chats here. Let me get to you about some of these. I'm glad you love the maths. I'm sorry it's a bit small. I will do a recording, so it's all been recorded. So I will pop this in, and you can watch a replay of it as well. you've been avoiding using any more software. Yeah, I get people get software fatigue, and there is a lot of softwares out there. And when I totally get it, and adding an extra software, I would say Loom is one of our core softwares. From experience, there's lots of other stuff that I've tried in the past. It just makes it so easy, Loom, to one, record something very quickly that would take me way longer to put down an email and write in Word. Yeah, I know there is so many must-haves. That yes, I think there's a couple core. So for business nowadays, I think you need to have SOPs in your business. There's no question. So if you don't want to have another software, i.e., like Loom, it's back to writing stuff in Word documents and doing tasks like that. So I suppose you have to weigh up: is it worth spending the little bit amount of money that Zoom is on a monthly basis versus hours and hours and hours of work that it's going to take you to create them manually? And then I would say, in my experience, is that if you've got a Word document, no one's going to ever read those. They're still going to come and ask you the questions. The whole purpose of this and creating Looms is to get those questions away from you. So people are jumping on and watching it themselves and educating themselves versus you jumping on and being like, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to answer all those questions and then do it for you. I'm simplifying a whole ecosystem workspace and creating my own go-to menu again. You certainly can do that. I would just say, I suppose, the difference between using video versus someone still going somewhere. So, I mean, Loom is a great way to just film yourself, even if you're not using it as a platform. You can download them. Again, putting them all in there for even team onboarding, staff onboarding, getting them set up from day one. The value adds right at the start. If you could have someone, imagine before they start, and this is where we've been using it very successfully, is onboarding from new team members, onboarding for a new VA that you're hiring. Imagine when they started, they've got 20, 30 Loom videos to watch on everything that entails their role and job. It's kind of a no-brainer, right? Like if they had that when they started, there's not that 6-month learning curve of them talking to a million different people to try and get them up to speed on what's what. And I mean, you could even do, we've got a couple of Loom videos on what our business is all about, what we stand for, who we are, what the greater business does, who we help. All those different types of things you can put into Loom, which I think is very, very cool. All right. Any more questions? If you do, pop them in there. I'm happy to answer them. Nope. Cool. So again, just a very quick reminder, obviously, we do have 8+ services now at Empire One. So if you are looking for any marketing services, we've got the amazing Amplify, Mark and his team are doing some incredible things, especially around the AI space. So if you're looking around things like how do you appear in ChatGPT, it's one of the most searched terms at the moment in marketing. They have got an incredible team that can help people gear up their SEO around their websites to make them appear in ChatGPT. And as I think we discussed a couple of weeks ago, that ChatGPT are going to be running ads. I know they got sort of blasted for it at the Super Bowl with Gemini doing some very funny commercials around it. But if you haven't watched them, please go and watch them. But what they are doing is obviously some ads. So how are you going to appear on ChatGPT organically when people are searching for things? That's been a huge push in the marketing space, and marketing's team are all across that. So if you do want to reach out to him, we've got the amazing outsourced with building an offshore team and helping you do that. We've got the amazing deals, saving you heap loads of money across all of your software. We've got Empire People with our HR platform. We've got Power, saving you money across Power, cover for your business insurance, lending for all of your lending needs, and obviously our Traveler as well, saving you lots of money across travel. I actually just booked some rental car and accommodation over in LA. I'm going over there in a few months' time, and I got a massive discount. So yeah, don't forget about all the different services we got. If you do need help, want to have a chat to us, always here. And I hope to see you all very soon in a bit. Next event we got coming up, and myself and Mark are talking. He's got a whole new thing and a couple things with AI that he's wants to chat and sort of upskill everybody on, which is next Wednesday, same time. So yeah, we're looking very forward to that one as well. But until then, I hope you've learned some stuff today. I hope you all jump on today, do that challenge, get that one Loom video up on one of your SOPs, and I will see you all and hopefully speak to you all very soon. Have an amazing Wednesday afternoon, and I'll see you all very soon.